be talking about something very simple but powerful, the art of checking in. And to help us understand this better, I'm joined by Varuna Sharma, consultant clinical psychologist. Varuna, welcome.
Hi Tanvi, thank you for introducing me. Happy World Mental Health Day to everyone. Even though, we are having this conversation because of Mental Health Day, but this is the need of the hour because there is war happening around us. There are so many losses that are taking place. People are going through grief. So I do feel it's important to check in with people around us at this time.
Yeah, you're so right, Varuna. When people go through big crisis, and you're right, there's so much happening. There was the terror attack in India. There's all these genocide happening. There's a lot of wars that we are so privy to because of news, everything around us. And when we go through such big crises, we often focus on physical needs, food, safety, shelter. But I guess that's what makes checking in such an important part of care too.
Right, right. That is there. And even when we start checking in, the main thing that it does is it breaks the isolation. Everyone feels that their grief is personal, even though we are all going through similar things around us. This helps break the isolation, makes the person feel that they are also accounted for. It's not that they're alone in this battle. And it helps even as, say, mental health professionals or as a community support to early identify if there is a mental health issue coming up with any person in this time.
Yeah, and that's so true. And also because mental health services still there's so much stigma attached to it, and not everybody has access to formal services. These small acts seems to be so important then.
Right. And this is the first aid we are looking for. If the community helps us identify, it just helps us diverge our hold on the whole community when it comes to mental health support, because during these times, difficult times where some tragedies occurred, a lot of importance is given on to the physical aspect, the moving the people, rehabilitation aspect. But the psychosocial support is something that kind of goes missed.
Yeah, you're so right about that. And I loved how you called it first aid, psychological first aid. So, Varuna, how does a person really check in? You know, I meet a lot of people who want to check in, want to ask how everybody is doing, but they're just so caught up with, okay, what if I say the wrong thing? What if it just adds the distress? So, can you help us with that? How do we really check in?
Right. I think this is one of the most key aspects of the whole thing which holds us together. And there's a very basic step that I follow is here to, identify, to validate, and to support. So, how do we identify? When we are talking to someone, we can just notice that, you've been feeling a little low lately. You're just acknowledging, you're just noticing that they're not feeling up to the mark. You can validate that this is a difficult time. I can understand that this is something very stressful, of course. And lastly, provide support. Ask them as openly as possible that, do you want to talk to someone? Do you want me to just sit beside you for some time if that helps? Some company can help. So it's more than saying the right thing, it's about being present. The
Yeah,
key word would be presence, is what you have to do.
yeah. So, notice, validate, and support. I think that's very helpful. And what if a person actually starts to open up and they are comfortable talking about whatever's happening with them? Then what do we do?
Right. And a lot of times this will happen because, we are all like at the tipping point where you just want to open up. So all you have to do is listen more than talk. Just let them vent out. Be that kind, hearing person where you are. Let them say whatever is coming to you, coming to them, and just listen it out. And if you feel at any point that, they might do something harmful to themselves, please reach out to the proper professional help at that time, it does not mean that you are invading their privacy or you're breaking their trust. It's just that when the situation becomes a little extreme, it's important that the right people also intervene at that vulnerable time.
Yeah, and that is again so important. A lot of times you will always get scared. If I say something, it's like breaking their trust. But it really helps to know that it's just about taking care of them. And we can always keep them in the loop. Okay, I had to reach out to this person. But
Right.
it's really about not breaking their trust, but taking care of them, whatever supports them. So,
Correct.
Varuna, what about ourselves? Like we said, there's so many things happening around us, and we are experiencing everything vicariously, if not by ourselves. So, when we're checking in with everybody else around us, how do we really check in with ourselves?
Even here, we can simplify the whole process is first asking ourselves, how am I holding up today? What we forget in this whole process is that we forget to be the friend we are to everyone else. Because of that, the compassion fatigue sets in, or we start feeling the secondary trauma to whatever we are absorbing. So just ask yourself, how are you holding it? And when it comes to news, as you're telling, so many things are going around, try to limit your news consumption. Take whatever is important and don't overload yourself. Overwhelming yourself with information will not help you. It's good to be updated, but not immersed in it. And
Yeah.
lastly, try to take 5 minutes out for yourself, even if it means going down for a walk, having a cup of coffee, sitting down with yourself, listening to some music, anything, stretching, journaling, anything that helps you ground yourself to yourself rather than everything around in the reality, just to yourself as a human being. So,
Yeah.
just these three steps will take you a long way.
I so relate with what you said. And I remember when there was COVID going on and there was so much news, it really was anxiety provoking. And I'm so glad that you mentioned reducing the content of how much you consume news can be so important. Yeah. Thank you for such important reminders in how to take care of ourselves, how to take care of other people, just to check in. And before we close, Varuna, if people watching could do one thing after looking at this video, what would you want it to be?
The first thing that I would want is to reach out to someone you know who's going through something, to just let your hand out, keep an open ended conversation that you're there for support. And second, to check in with yourself. It's not selfish. You have to self care so that you can take care of the community around you. And by community, I mean your people. It's not the whole world also we are telling you to reach out. If everyone starts caring about their people who they matter, I think I think we'll be able to reach to a lot more people at the same time.
Yes, beautifully said. And if you are someone you know is struggling, please reach out. We can share helpline numbers, we can connect you with our therapist. And remember, healing takes time, and be patient with yourself and others.
Right? I think everyone's resilience matters. We are all here today showing up, and that is what counts.
Thank you so much, Varuna, and thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation. And let's make checking in with ourselves and with others a daily habit, not just a World Mental Health Day reminder. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanvi.